Hi Virgo, welcome to New Era. My name is Emma. I hope it's just on my end that it looks like I'm talking a bit faster or slower with my mouth than the sound. So hope that is all good on your end. This is your general reading from the universe, from messages from source is what I call it, for the very near future. And starting today with the 22nd of April, which is a gorgeous number, or rather the frequency of the number is gorgeous. Every number, like everything else in the universe, carries a unique frequency. And the number 22 is a master number. It's all about the manifestation of things. Like number 11 is also a master number, which is all about dreams and wishes and hopes and wantings. Like a portal to step into something new. And number 22 is all about manifesting that, sort of bringing that about, seeing that come to fruition. Also, the number itself too is all about conversation and communication and relationships. And strong emphasis on that with 22. It's sort of like a soulmate vibe. It's coming together in relationships. So it's a lot of relationship vibe. But it's also a very strong manifestational basis of this reading. So with that said, let's see what specifically is going on for you, Virgo, for the very near future. I'm using the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck, but I just want to say that it's not a typical tarot reading. It's quite funny that I'm doing these readings with some sort of tarot deck and using the zodiac signs as I'm doing. But it's not a typical tarot reading. I don't know tarot, and I'm not heavily into the tarot thing. I'm into the images. I love images, and I love the pictures and what it ignites in me and what I can bring through, like what comes out through my intuition because I'm looking at the images. It was a person, one comment only, that I said, can I please read the cards accurately? And for me, there's there's not a wrong or right way to read cards. I understand that if there's a typical tarot reading that has meaning to it, but I'm not pretending that it is a tarot reading. It's a reading where you look into the images. So, that little defense speech. Let's see what's going on for you, Virgo. If you don't like the shuffle, please fast forward. It's something that is taking a bit of time. I feel like you feel like it's taking a bit of time to come to fruition. And that was funny what fell out there. Okay. So once it got going, once that first card flew out, then we have 4 more cards just flying out. Very, very similar to the Leo reading, I just have to say. So Leo Virgo, I feel like Leo Virgo has sort of intertwined lately. So if you're feeling drawn to Leo whatsoever, you might want to check the Leo reading out. It's not the basis, the basis of the reading, the first card out is not the first card out in this reading. So there's another basis to this reading. It's the same basis, obviously, for the number of today's date. So that's why there might be some similarity there. But let's see what specifically comes out. That's also the interesting thing. It might it might be the same cards that drops out, but then it's like a completely different message that comes through. So we have the first card out is number 4, which is all about the heart, all about the heart matters in your life, and all about the foundation that you're building right now. It's a green border, so it speaks about the complete love, the whole love, the totality of you, the connection between you and your inner being, between you and your intuition, let's call it. It says discontent. Don't ask. The program reverses the images in the cards, and so they will look mirrored to you. Long story short, they just do until they don't. I change it. Discontent and boredom. So there's something, like I said, there's something, it feels like you, before this jumped out, I feel like there's something you're waiting on, and you feel like it's taking too long. It's going too slow. It's like there's a bit of impatience on your side, Virgo. But if you look at the bottom here, yeah, it looks a bit bland. It looks a bit dull. But if you look closer, the rainbow is actually shining through. It's a beautiful, I don't know, I'm drawn to say the pride, like we have the Pride Festival here in Sweden with the all the rainbows, it's not all the rainbows, all the colors of the rainbow. So there might be some sort of equality thing. There's some sort of equality thing. What is this? So it's like you, or is it a person that you're dealing with? Some might not see it the way you see it, or like you have a different viewpoint on something, or there's like a it's not a conflict. I don't feel like it's a conflict, but I feel like there's a somebody is sort of a bit in the dark about something, like they're not seeing something clearly, or they're not seeing something the way that you want them to see it. You're seeing it in a different light, like there's a different, like you have a different take on it. And I don't think it's to the point where it's a conflict. This might just be you just have different perspectives on things. And obviously this is a heart matter to you. There's something that is really close to your heart. So maybe this is like, you could be dealing with a Libra because of the justice, because of the equality thing there. But other than that, I feel like this is a heart matter for you. Like, you might even be speaking about equality things, like one world, we're all one, that type of thing. There's something about the totality view, the complete love. Everybody has equal rights. There's an equality thing to it. Do you want to have some clarification around this? Clarification around the first card here, please. There might be that you're a bit, I don't want to say pissed, but that you're a bit aggravated that the other people doesn't like get it the way that you get it. It sounds a bit arrogant, but I don't think it's arrogant. I think it's just a passionate it's a passionate cause for you, almost. Okay, can we have some clarification around this first card? Okay. Emotional loss. What? It's yet another green border. So yes, so it's talking about the totality of love, the connecting in with oneself. It's number 5. So this is talking about change and life path. So this, usually I would say with the number 5 that something is about to change and you're on your life path right now. You're really on your life path. Doing what really is close to your heart. You're holding your hands over your heart. There's something that you're doing here that is sort of having a ripple effect, or somebody else. Do you see how it goes emotional loss? I'm not drawn to that whatsoever, emotional loss. I'm drawn to the image of this card. And you're holding your hands over your heart, and there's sort of like a new, it doesn't really show all that well. It's almost like a rainbow situation again, but within this shell. And if you look at it, you see like how it's like this is close to your heart, and you're holding this dear to your heart, and it's like whatever you're thinking about this cause or about this equality thing has a ripple effect to then other people, like how it goes out to other people, but also vice versa. I feel like it has started somewhere else. This equality thing might have started somewhere else, and it has ripple effects and is reaching you. And in whatever shape or form this has showed up for you, like whatever inspiration that you got this from, now you're taking that on. And so it's like, so I think it started from somebody else. Like there was an inspirational, maybe you watched a movie, maybe you watched like a documentary or read a book, or however this showed up for you, or you went to like a seminar and you heard somebody talk, or however you can get this information. Maybe you read something or you watched something on YouTube, or however it came across. It was something that came into you, like that somebody started from a really pure place. It's coming from the light. It's coming from a really good place. Seeing it clearly, that has ripple effects going out to you, reaching you. And now you in your turn this is a heart matter for you, and now you in your turn are like taking this to heart, and you're really feeling it, and you're having a lot of thoughts about it. And now you in your turn like are sending things out. I don't think that you're doing it to the same degree that you got it, that you got inspired by it, but you're putting it out there in a different way. And I think that you think, I hope this makes sense to somebody. I think that you think that what you're doing doesn't have the same effect, or what you're doing, like how you're sending that out now, because maybe you're not making a video on YouTube and talking about this cause that is really close to your heart, or maybe you don't write a book. So the way that you talk about it, or the way that you spread it, however, it's a general reading, so it's really tough to sort of, and this is how you do it, because there's you don't think it has the same effect, but it does, because once you think that thought, once you send that out, it's like it has the same. If I'm sitting at home on my couch and I'm thinking awesome thoughts, which one do every once in a while, those thoughts are thought forms, and those thought forms exist now. For then somebody else, if somebody else is sort of inclined to think the same things, or in like the same vicinity of figuring something out, or wanting to have an answer for something, they actually can like hook into my energy form, my energy thought form, and get some answers. And therefore, like, I don't have to make a video like this and tell you that. I don't have to write a book about it. You can actually really not do anything at all, but just think and add to the rest of the world. And I think you do more than just think about it. There's something like expressing yourself, maybe, but even just thinking about it is actually causing ripple effects. Okay? It's your life path. There's something that is really close to your heart, and I think you're gonna be you're gonna find out how much more this is creating like ripple effects around the world than you now initially know. It's gonna become a life path. It's gonna become something for you that you right now don't know that it's gonna become, and it's a heart matter. You're laying the foundation of something. I think this is representative of, excuse me, it's a bit clearer now for me. This is representing both you and like a collective. It's not just one other person, is what I feel now, with some clarification. I feel like this is, like representative of you, how you get a bit frustrated at times. You're all for this rainbow equality. I mean, I'm drawn to say pride because we have this gay pride. It's not a demonstration, but it's like showing up there. It's just equal rights for, I shouldn't say that specifically, because it feels like it's equal rights. This is an equal rights thing for all. It's not just a gay demonstration thing. It's equality for all. That's why I'm so drawn to say that you might be dealing with a Libra, that is vågen in Swedish, which is all about justice. And you might not be dealing with a Libra. You just maybe want justice. But there's something about this it's seeping in, it's happening, and you're sometimes a bit frustrated that it doesn't happen fast enough, or that people are not like catching on, if that makes sense. And so this is also representative of the people that are not catching on. You think that they're a bit in the dark. That's how you look at it. It's a good thing to have that sort of frustration in the very beginning. It fuels you a bit. It's a bit fueling for you. It's like it's igniting you to start things. But eventually I think that it's because what's coming through is that to sort of understand that every person has their place in the ripple effect movement. And some people take longer and some people take shorter. And sometimes we need those people that take longer. How do you know that you're ahead of somebody if they're not behind you, right? How do you know that you're a woman or a man if you haven't ever seen somebody else that is the opposite of you? Like, we define ourselves through understanding what other people are or are not, right? So it's like a good thing. I understand that you want to get them on board. I understand that you want movement forward, but sometimes there's something about just letting it have its course, like run its course, and let the ripple effect do its job or something. Feels like I'm speaking in very cryptical ways. It's interesting because I used the word cryptisk quite recent. Cryptical. Did you say cryptical? Okay, moving on. And now it's like I'm moving on over, because then 4 cards came out, and so it's like that's one matter, that's one thing, and then we're moving over to this, I feel like it's completely different. It might not be different at the end of it when it all comes together, but it feels like a brand new topic. We have 2 number 2s here, and that's what Leo had as well. So it's a strong emphasis on the number 22, like we have the 22 in the today's date. And even though you listen to this maybe on the 31st of another month in April, it's like the foundation of the reading still is the frequency of the number 22. So we have a double 22, 22, 22. So there's strong manifestations happening in your life right now. You're seeing something come to fruition, and you're branching out. There's something about like the strong red there is all about foundation. It's all about like having your foundation. This is what I know and this is how it is. And then there's this branching out. There's little branches coming out here from your head, through your head. That is like a new way of thinking. And that has already been sparked. That has already has already taken place. It's like, okay, one side of you is still a bit boxed in. I'm trying to say this as friendly as I can. Like, you're a bit boxed in. You're a bit like a bit set in your ways, and that's due to security. That's due to feeling safe. That we recognize things how they are. But there's another part of you that really has started to branch out, that really has started to think in new ways and new perspectives. And one should never compare, so that's why I'm comparing you to Leo right now. I'm not saying that you're better and they are worse, or they are better and you're worse. I'm just saying that there's a difference here. And the difference is that I think that you are a bit quicker to catch on to a new idea or a new way of thinking, new way of seeing something. This feels to me like you could be presented with a brand new idea or a brand new something, and you're like, oh, that feels good, that feels nice, that feels like something I could work with. You don't so much need. So for the Leo reading, I felt like there was this foundation as well and this branching out, but it's more like you're branching out in your business, you're branching out in your family situation, stuff like that. And they felt more like in need of let go a bit of that old belief system or that old way of thinking, so that the new idea can really be presented in the way that it's intended to be presented. And I feel like I'm just saying that not to say that Leo sucks and you're awesome, but I'm saying it so that you understand how I perceive you to be. This is more like a free, you're getting presented to something. You don't need as much time to think it over until you take that new thing on. But then, Virgo, happens this, because then we have this new idea and that feels really good. And so you don't have to debate that very long. You sort of just take it on board straight away. Like, that sounds fair, so let's do that. But now that's going to sometimes sort of clash a bit with the old ways, with the vogue ways of thinking of things. It's like the new meets the old. And because the old hasn't, like all the old hasn't caught up to the new, there's a bit of a clash sometimes. And that might have you feel a bit confused, or it might have you feel a bit oh, so it does tie into this thing. That's really interesting. So when you feel, so you can have complete understanding for those people who sort of doesn't get what you're getting sometimes, like with this equality, with this justice thing, with this rainbow thingy here. There's something about you. Okay, so you're branching out. You're thinking in new ways. You're not so set in the old ways, like because something has been that way for a gazillion years doesn't mean that it should be that forevermore. But then you're a bit set in your old ways sometimes because you feel safe, because you feel secure. And there's where you even within yourself, you're clashing a bit. And now you're judging your own clashing and you're projecting it out on the people that you're thinking is not moving faster than they should. And since in my reality, my beliefs, my facts is that everything on the outside is really just a projection. Everything on the outside is really just a projection of your own inner energy. This is sort of a judgment on yourself rather than a judgment on them, but it turns out to look like a judgment on them. But this is your own clash between your new way of thinking and your old way of thinking. That is quite profound and quite deep, and I hope you follow me here. It's a blue border, so it's all about speaking your truth, being very authentic, being very pure. Virgo, that's beautiful. And again comes in conversations, communications, and relationships with the number 2. And then we have material and spiritual prosperity. And I just love this. This is a new foundation. You're building something new for yourself. And there's something that comes in pairs. So, and little, not apples and pears, maybe for some of you. But it's like, here is a pair of 2, here's a pair of 2, here's a pair of 2, and here's a pair of 2. And there's the fountain there with the 2 water squirting thingies. And you're sort of just looking out over your own investment, over your own creation, really. You're laying a new foundation. And I feel like this, because I see the rest of the cards here, I think this is both for a mental, like you're thinking in new ways, you're laying a new foundation for the way of your thinking, for the way of your mentality. But also you're laying a new foundation for, this could be family life, family home. It's both material and spiritual prosperity. So there's a gain in the material. I mean, we have strong 22, so you're manifesting things right now. But I just want to have you understand that a manifestation could be a car, a manifestation could be a relationship, but a manifestation could also be a new way of thinking, or like a new way of feeling. You could feel happy, and that is a manifestation. And then we have the number 6, which is talking about the totality of you again, like the whole love, the complete love, the connection between you and your inner being. It's really beautiful. Strong connection to Leo, might be a might be a connection to Libra. And here with these, it might be a connection to Gemini as well. Then we move on to the next number 2. Again, conversation, communication, relationships. Yet another red border, which speaks about a new foundation. You're laying a new foundation right now, stepping into a new life. Movement, choices, and decisions. That's another language. We're dealing with everything. And look here, we have the rainbow thing here happening again. So there's some strong emphasis on the rainbow thingy. The equality, the justice, the connecting in. Usually when I say rainbow, like if you're having a lot of rainbow energy around you, that's like if you're thinking like everybody has different steps with their organs, but you also have different steps with your like energy body. And if you're not a chakra person, if you don't speak chakra language, just think of it as the energy centers, the energy systems throughout the body. When the rainbow energy shows up, it's like saying that those energy systems are very much in alignment. They're very much in balance within yourself, which brings an awesome feeling, which often brings clarity. It brings equally high vibrant people about. It brings manifestations. And so this is both. This is like both you feeling really balanced within yourself, and this is also this is brand new, because I've never talked about this rainbow thing in this way before. So this is a specific interest to you specifically, Virgo. With the equality, the justice thing that has something to do with the rainbow. Equality. Something. And you're dealing with, right now you're dealing with money. There's like, we're coming from this spiritual place first. It's like a connection. It's not a religious way. It's a spiritual way. It's a connecting in with everything that's breathing. It's connecting in with the heavens, the earth, your inner being, everything. Then we move on to health, like the balance within yourself with the green. And then we move on to relationships, establishing a relationship. There is a commitment there because of the rings. Romantic relationship. And then we have monies. And then we have, it's like we're taking on this this orange energy center is all about creativity, passion, fun, joy. So either the creation side of you is not really on point right now, or it's like it's a bit hidden right now, because there is a major focus, or more of a focus right here. I mean, this person is sort of watching somewhere between health in the body, and relationships, romantic relationships. That's where they're looking right now. But this is also here, very strong spiritual connection, very strong health, very strong relationship, very strong financial situation. And this is like, it's like you're waiting to step into this creative side of you, to this passionate side of you. But once you have all these 4 down, I mean, they're the major ones. It's like spirituality is like that's the foundation for everything. Health, relationships, and money. I think those are the 3 biggest themes in our lives, right? And then we're slowly coming into this creative side of you. But there's tremendous expansion and growth here. It's so beautiful. And then the last card out here is spiritual strength, and it just fits so perfectly. It's number 9, so it speaks about the unconditional love. Look what a powerhouse you are. This is spiritual strength, meaning you're strong in your core. Like your core beliefs are really healthy, really in alignment. It's a purple border, so it's all about the spiritual connection. And with the number 9, there's some sort of ending. There's a welcoming ending. Something is ending, and you can never end something without having a new beginning. So there's something that has come to an end, and now we're going to go into a new beginning. So I'm going to go into the extended and see what else I can find there. So if you feel like this resonates with you, then probably the extended will resonate with you as well. Then the link is in the description box down below. If this is where we part ways, then thank you so much for watching. And I hope to see you back in a week for your love reading. Take care, Virgo. Bye.